we're going to make a cone or conical shape and apply a gradient and a shadow that's cast by that object. So I'm going to start with a triangle, because a cone is really more triangular in shape. So here is a cone that I have basically drawn, but I need the rounded bottom to the cone. So I'm going to come back now with an ellipse, and I'm going to start dragging until I reach the end. See, the magenta tells me I'm kind of reached the end of my shape. That's good. There he is. And now I'm going to make it a little bit wider. Use my selection tool, get a little more round on. And then we're going to inch it into place. There we go. I'm going to select both of them because I need to merge them together. I'm going to use the shape builder tool, but not the quick one that just kind of is a picture icon. I'm going to the very top to the actual shape builder tool so I can make this connectivity more permanent. And we need the permanency for our next step. All right, so I have my cone. My next step is that I want to make a copy of this because I need a shadow. So I've duplicated. I'm going to twist it down, all right? And I need to start making this into a placement for a shadow. I'm going to temporarily just kind of lock this shape so I don't do anything stupid to it. I'm going to click on this guy, and now I'm going to need to move some anchor points around. So I'm onto the direct selection tool. And so I'm going to click on this blue anchor here. Come on, buddy. There we go. Click on that guy, move him in. I think this one needs to kind of move down just a smidge. And this one, tap to make him highlight. I need to, oh, where'd he go? I need to move this down. And look, by making it come down shorter, it got more narrow, right? And more narrow for us is gonna equal flat on table shadow. All right, so now that we've got him, I'm gonna turn him black temporarily. Now, of course, the shape is kind of ugly because we messed with it, right? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to the stacking order and I'm dragging downwards, and I've now popped him in so that he's behind everything, okay? I could tilt it a little bit more. I can bring it down just a little smidge more. And I have myself now, based on my lighting, a shadow that's kind of going off to the right-hand side because the light's going to hit the left-hand side of this object. All right, now let's go back to the actual object. Let me click him, unlock him, and we need to add a gradient, right? So let's come up here and let's go back to our color. We want to go here, and we're going to click on gradient tab, and we're going to click the linear at the moment. Oh, we lost our selection. There we go. Gradient. Ta-da. Okay, now I'm going to mess with some colors. I'm going to tilt this up a little bit. I want to get sort of a lighter kind of a blue. So we have where the highlight is. I'm going to add another little stop where maybe we have more of my royal blue or a bluish color. And then I'm going to come back here and let's do that. But I'm going to come back and get something that's a little bit darker. There we go. So we start to have a little bit of a fade in between where colors are kind of happening at. Got a little tilt on this, so I got a light side and I got a dark side. So there I've got a gradient. So I played around with two different kinds of color stops. Now we need to move on to the shadow below. We want the shadow below to go from dark to fading into nothing because we're going to have a table color that's going to be behind this. So here I go. I'm into the gradient. We also are going to use linear on this one as well. Looky there. I can move this so it gets darker a little bit more right after our object, but it's currently fading to white. So I'm going to tap on this white tab here, and I can do this either here for for sliding, or I could come over here to that color and choose 0 for the opacity of the white, and it's going to fade to clear. All right, so let's see what happens with what we just did. I'm going to add a background to a new layer. So let's lock this layer. Let's add this. I'm going to drag this below, and we're going to put a solid shape of some kind, all right, with a color as a background on the table. So here I go. I have a table color. All right. So look how it's kind of fading out to the color of the table, right? Now, what if I want to make this a little bit more dramatic? And I want the gray to start to fade so we start to see through to the table color even more. So I'm going to unlock and click on this again. Okay, with my selection tool, going back to the gradient, and I'm going to add a stop right there. So that kind of adds that same gray that's in that area. And I want to lessen that gray. So looky there, I'm starting to see more table coming through there. All right, so I'm going to allow that to be a little transparent. Close that. And looky there. So my gradient is fading into the table color. That's truly and what realistically begins to happen. We can also play with the background of the table itself. Let me click on, and the wall. Let me make another shape that's going to be our wall color. Let's go with something, let's go with a more vibrant, kind of an orange color. All right, we'll do this. Here is this. I'm going to send this to the background. There it is. I can get rid of my little light guy, okay, because we know the light's coming from over there. And so I can represent the light coming from over there even with the gradient over here. I'm going to do gradient and see how it has my orange, right? But I need it to show a little bit more of an orange. I really don't want it to go to green. So I'm going to place orange there, and then I'm going to do another stop, and we'll go to my orange, more orange. All right, now come over here, orange, darker orange over there. So notice how it's lighter over on the left where my illumination is, and it gets darker over toward the right. All right, the end.